Maritime trade between Europe and Asia goes back many centuries. All these years, the trade route has remained unchanged. But Russia sees it differently. Due to global warming and melting polar ice, Russia wants to firmly establish a much shorter Europe-Asia sea route that's entirely under Russian control. Here's an exclusive ground report by WION's senior correspondent Sidhharth MP from Russia's Far East Arctic region. Take a look.
In terms of both value and volume, the flow of maritime commerce between Europe and Asia is massive. Oil and gas, metal ores are a major part of this trade. Add to them technical products, automobiles, finished goods, edibles, and much more. When the Suez Canal opened in 1869, it became the standard Europe-Asia trade route. However, as the decades went by, geopolitical challenges emerged along the route. The Europe-Asia shipping route has multiple major choke points: the Strait of Gibraltar, Suez Canal, Bab el-Mandeb, Strait of Hormuz, and the Malacca Strait. Choke points occur at strategic locations. They are controlled by one or a few nations. War, conflicts, pirate attacks, or even a shipping accident heighten the risk at these choke points. Remember Ever Given? This stranded giant container vessel blocked the Suez Canal for 6 days and disrupted billions worth of global trade in March 2021.
To sail from the farthest end of Europe to the farthest end of Asia through the traditional Suez Canal route, it takes about 40 days and 21,000 kilometers. However, there's an alternate route that's being in the works. This is the route known as the Northern Sea Route. It passes largely through Russia's exclusive economic zone in the Arctic Ocean, which is of course the icy ocean. This is a route that spans the entire length of the Arctic. So this is a route that takes just about 13,000 kilometers as opposed to the other routes 21,000 kilometers. In this route, there is also a considerable saving of time because it takes just about 25 days as opposed to the 40 days in the other route. This is also a route with minimal choke points. This ensures the free flow of cargo and also a smaller and more sustainable route with lesser potential for fuel emissions.
For many years now, large cargo-carrying ships have sailed the Russian Northern Sea route, ferrying oil and gas, coal and metals. All of this is through Russia's exclusive economic zone. Gradually, Russia hopes to further intensify activity in its Arctic shipping route. And even though the Arctic is frozen for most of the year, Russia has a solution to enable the safe passage of ships. It involves the Russian nuclear power agency, Rosatom.
Russia already operates the world's only fleet of nuclear icebreaker vessels that help them cut through the Arctic ice. They're also adding more vessels to their fleet and they'll be operational in the coming years. By cutting through the Arctic ice, they can clear the passage for commercial shipping to go from Europe to Asia in the much shorter Northern Sea route, which largely lies in Russia's exclusive economic zone.
This year alone, Russia expects 3 million tons of cargo through the Northern Sea route. Russia is also working on mega oil and gas exploration projects in the Arctic. Interestingly, Russia's commercial interest in the Arctic coincides with its military interest. Over the last 2 decades, Russia has reactivated dozens of Soviet-era military bases in the Arctic. Western observers say that Russia has 3 times more military bases in the Arctic than NATO. In 2020, Russia's nuclear power agency, Rosatom, bought in the world's only floating nuclear power plant to its Far East Arctic region. The power plant continues to generate heat and electricity for the remote Russian Far East town Pevek. The floating nuclear power plant is a white ship with blue and red lines.
For several decades, aircraft carriers and submarines have been powered by nuclear reactors. They use nuclear energy for both propulsion and also powering their own systems and subsystems. But what we're standing right now is the world's first floating nuclear power plant in Russia. This is operated by Russia's nuclear power agency, Rosatom. This is a vessel that actually powers not just itself using nuclear energy, but also powers this entire town that's adjoining this vessel using nuclear energy that it generates. This video is on Ajit from Pevek into the Russian Far East. Sidhharth MP, WION World is One.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.